Mic checker, microphone wrecker. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV with my swivel. It's winding me up. Should I tighten it? Yeah, I should, but it keeps coming loose. That's what you get for buying cheap gear, right? We just listened to Tool. Probably a bunch of fellas who don't buy cheap gear. I would like to assume that the album is called Aenima, but who am I to work that out at? One moment. You'll still be able to hear me, people, don't worry. So this listen through went out to my good friend Gary, who recommended it on Patreon. I've been speaking to Gary for some time, and he always puts forth some fantastic recommendations. This being one. We listened to Tool. I say not so long back. In the grand scheme of this channel, it was quite a while back. Last time we listened to Tool, I think we listened to a few Tool albums now, if not two, possibly three. And this was filling in the gap. I think we did Lateralis, and we definitely did the one earlier. That's for definite. We had 15 tracks on here. Some of them interlude as far as like song length and content is concerned. The rest being quite cohesive. As inventive Tool is, Tool do have a sound. Tool definitely have a sound, because all of the longer length songs, albeit quite experimental in structure and dynamic and whatnot, we still do hear the Tool sound. They don't necessarily stray off of that, and that tends to be like palm muted, lower dynamic guitar with like a hypnotic bass line riff, which tends to be pretty good. I mean, my favourite one was 46 and 2. I thought the riff was quality. I really like the bass riff on that one. And yeah, let's talk about the content. So the sound production was good. Sound production was very good. They gave a great big presence to what seemed to be a relatively limited instrumental. We didn't have 20,000 different band members playing all sorts of stuff here, there, and everywhere. Vocal line was quite good. His vocal performance, honestly, isn't really anything that appeals to me. I used to be a very big Porcupine Tree fan, and Stephen Wilson, who fronts that band, sort of has a voice reminiscent of this. I found a lot sort of in correlation. Like when Porcupine Tree started putting the Sims down and picking guitars up a little bit more. I heard a little bit of a crossover from that to what I'm hearing now with Tool. Like a proggier drop D rock band. I mean, Tool might be an E standard in all honesty, but I could see them being in D from time to time. Where do we go from here? So, lyrically speaking, a lot of people love the lyrical content. I think the lyrical content is really what garners a lot of the cult-like following. But me, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the lyric, nor am I reading the lyric, because that's not how I enjoy music. That's not how I listen to music. My reaction isn't going to stray from how I generally would listen to music. So that's what you get with me. I don't pick up on that side of things when it comes to Tool. Some things you can make sense of. Some things, with his vocal performance and the way he puts things forward, you might not necessarily catch on to. Albeit there might be, quite a legitimate meaningful message behind it. When they're coming out with tunes like Hooker with a Penis, I think that devalues everything. I've heard in a couple of earlier records they've done sort of like a bit of an edgier song on this and that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for Tool. I can't hold them in high esteem and sort of honour their reputation as being big brains when they sort of devalue it and muddy the water a little bit with like the edginess. I think that is corny. But with that being said, that's art because it gives you something to talk about. So it's not necessarily an incredible detraction because it's a talking point, but I'd rid of any sort of like higgledy-piggledy jokes and inside jokes and, edgy factors, to be honest. I'm just not into that. I'm not into that. Well, I might be from time to time, but I'm not into it with this particular band because everyone advertises it as like the spiritual be-all and end-all of music and, so deep and, that. If that's the case, I don't want to hear that crap. So, if I'm going to rate this record, I'm not. Because I know you people absolutely love Tool, and I'll tell you what, I sort of Don't feel the music too much. It's not necessarily for me. It's not a band that suits my tastes. First and foremost, I like a little bit more direct music. Progressive music would have entertained my younger self, but now I like simplicity. And the band is more simple than what, some people may advertise it as. Instrumentally, they're relatively simple, but they're very good at creating dynamic shifts and changes to the energy and the audacity of what you're hearing. They're very good at that. But instrumentally speaking, it's not too problematic. If you wanted to pick up the guitar and play a couple of Tool riffs, I'm sure it wouldn't be that problematic. With that being said, let's move on to my favourite point, actually. I can't leave this bit out. The drummer, I think, is the best part of this record. I think the drummer's very good. I think the drummer's tight as nails. I think the drum sound on this record is really good. And yeah, I like the drummer a lot. The drummer's my favourite part. Drummer drives the record. The drummer gives Tool this just driving consistency to get you from A to B. And I gotta rate that. On that note, I'm signing out, people. See you till the next time. Peace.